troubled by strange noises in the night?
Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Have you or your family actually seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute.
Just pick up the phone and call the professionals.
Call the Ghostbusters. We're ready to believe you.
Franchises available soon. Call for details.
Released in 2009 for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, and Nintendo DS, it's Ghostbusters, the video game. The PlayStation 3 version, which is what you're currently seeing on screen now for this review and will be the primary basis for this review, was developed by Terminal Reality, as were the Xbox 360 and PC versions of the game. The Nintendo Wii, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation Portable versions were handled by Redfly Studio, and the Nintendo DS version by Zen Studios. Each developer has its own take on the game from what I can tell. The PS2, PSP, and Wii versions have a fairly different art style from what I can tell, but mostly remain the same as the 7th generation versions, aside from being able to pick a gender. However, the Nintendo DS game is a seemingly different game altogether. Taking place 2 years after the events of Ghostbusters 2, you, the player character, play a generic no-name character who the main cast refer to as Rookie. You were hired as a new recruit to simply test out experimental equipment for Egon and Ray. Things begin to start taking a turn for the worse as a large PKE shockwave hits New York City, ghosts are popping up all over the city, and guess who's to call? Sure enough, you and the team begin taking back New York City from the spooky apparitions one ghostbust at a time, without hopefully crossing a beam or two along the way. The game more or less is your not-so-standard third-person shooter. Instead of killing people, you deal with the people that are already dead or have been killed, and then shove them inside a device the size of a small shoebox. And sadly, the multiplayer has been offline now since forever ago. You know you're playing an older PlayStation 3 game when it boots you to a menu like this for multiplayer. So for this review, I'll be purely looking at the game's single-player aspects. But is it any good? Let's find out in The Good.
You have 1 new messages.
Help! There's a man, he's gonna jump from the ledge. I called the fire department. You guys should really get here fast in case they don't make it in time.
Usually, movie tie-in games more often than not are complete rushed-out cash-ins and for the most part, are pretty garbage and not worth the time. But considering this game came out 25 years after the original movie, it had a lot of breathing room to be potentially something special. And thankfully, this game and the story of it is the best thing to a third film we'll ever get. Written by Dan Aykroyd himself and featuring the original actors of the first 2 films reprising their roles and voicing their characters, as I said, this is the closest we'll ever get to a hypothetical original Ghostbusters 2 sequel, and without saying or spoiling much, it's fantastic. Filled with plenty of throwbacks and details relating to the first 2 films, this game was clearly made with a lot of love for its source material and for the fans playing it. But not only that, the gameplay itself is great as well. Busting ghosts never felt so damn good, and that in my opinion brings up the best aspect of this game, the gameplay, which for the most part is relatively simple. The proton packs of this game are equipped with 4 different types of weapons to utilize. Different ghosts have different weaknesses to them, which you can find out by scanning them with your PKE meter. Once you've drained their health to red, you simply throw down a trap and wrangle them on in. And trust me, it's damn satisfying every time.
Alright! You guys are really good!
The weapons themselves range from your standard proton stream to a shock device that can also slow down ghosts and almost acts as a weird freezing device, to a slime gun that can get rid of harmful goo as well as throw down slime tethers to pull objects towards you or in whichever direction you set them up in, and it's mostly utilized in puzzle solving, to a Meson Collider thing, which easily became my favorite tool to use, with 2 different modes of fire, one mode of fire letting you hit them with a targeting indicator, then switch into the other mode of fire, allowing your shots to home in on the enemy as long as the targeting indicator is still active. The enemy variety for the most part is also pretty varied, from your typical ghosts and Slimer, to inanimate objects coming to life and attacking you, to all kinds of other types of surprises. On the technical side of things, for a 2009 release, Ghostbusters holds up still pretty well. The lighting is decent on PS3, mind you this game does honestly look loads better on PC, and even the Xbox 360. and the physics engine and destructibility in the environments is all very detailed and neat to see. The overall environments and presentation of the game itself is fantastic and stays very true to the source material. From the fire hall to revisiting the Sedgwick Hotel, to the ghost dimension, to even the main menu of the game as you start it up. Not to mention the incredible soundtrack and composition for the game featuring a mixture of newer stuff and iconic tracks from the film itself.
We better get a scan.
I missed that, Ray. Please repeat.
Enough with the shushing!
Well, at least we're getting closer.
The Ghostbusters video game captures the overall theme and look of the Ghostbusters perfectly. From the detail on the proton packs, to the way the ghosts stretch out as they're being sucked into the trap, it's just fantastic, and the developers certainly deserve credit for all of it. And during my 7-8 hours or so I spent playing Ghostbusters, I only came upon a single save bug that was fixed once I restarted the game. Other than that, the game ran bug-free and I had no crashes whatsoever. But with all that being said, let's now discuss what's not so perfect or fantastic with the bad.
You have 8 new messages.
So, I'm a little short on funds, but I definitely got ghosts. You got some kind of home kit or something I could buy? Like some sort of sticky paper to lay down?
Sadly, the game doesn't run very perfectly. At least from what I can tell on the PlayStation 3 version. I had a number of frame rate dips when the action picked up a fair bit, and the game itself has almost no anti-aliasing to speak of. Next up, the puzzles you'll stumble across throughout the game, mind you, not a whole lot of them, aren't exactly challenging in any way. In fact, pretty much every puzzle in this game can be summed up as, wowee, look at our physics engine that we have, as you shoot your slime tether to pull things in whatever direction. That's pretty much almost every puzzle in this game. But lastly, and probably my biggest issue with Ghostbusters, the video game, is your fellow Ghostbusters. But more specifically, their AI. The AI in this game, I swear, at times just can't defend itself. So you'll constantly have to babysit and bring them back up to their feet almost every 5 minutes during the most action-packed moments of the game. But good luck expecting the same favor in return. The final stretch of this game, when the difficulty peaks at the highest, was an absolute mess at times because of this. It's a wonder how these guys even managed in the first 2 films. But with all that being said, it's time for the opinion. If you're a fan of the Ghostbusters films, cartoons, streamed cartoons, maybe that new film, then do yourself a favor and give this game a play. As I said, it's easily the best thing to a true third film we'll ever get, and the developers clearly put a lot of love into this and had a ton of respect for the source material. This game is a love letter to Ghostbusters fans, all while managing to be a competent video game as well. But now it's time for my rating. Wait, you know what? Hold on. One more thing I forgot to mention, and honestly I should have in the bad. There's this really weird bug. I just can't seem to bust or deal with this one ghost. It's weird too, he's in all of the cutscenes, he follows you throughout the game. Is he like the ghost mascot? I don't get it. And none of your weapons seem to phase him either. I've tried trapping him numerous times. I've tried using the proton stream, the maze, whatever the fuck gun. I don't get it. How do you bust this ghost? Is this some sort of bug? Is this some bug?